Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming, and welcome to this quick video where I wanted to discuss the performance for Apex Legends, the new battle royale game from Respawn set in the Titanfall universe. So basically I sat down and played for about an hour or so this morning. I started up MSI Afterburner and Reaper Tuner just to get a basic idea of what we can expect. So I was running it on my old R9 380 graphics card, and now if you're not familiar with where this card sits, it's slightly below the 1050 Ti and slightly better than the 960 in that region. So it's an older card from 2015. I was running it on the lowest settings, and what I noticed was I was getting about 60 to 70 FPS during normal open areas, and if we go inside in a closed environment, we were getting about 120 FPS even on my old graphics card. They have a few options here, and we have the default FOV at 90. The anti-aliasing they're using is TAA. And overall, I think this game looks good, and even on the lowest settings with everything turned off, I tried enabling everything and I was getting very low FPS, around 30 to about 50 FPS during the game, during outside open areas. Turning things off meant that the only place where we found low FPS was during the jumping scene, the parachuting. But once you land, I was comfortably getting over 60 FPS at 1080p. Now keep in mind I was also recording with OBS, and there was also MSI Afterburner running in the background, so they might have caused a bit of a hit. In the settings, they give you quite a lot of detail. Other settings, they explain whether it will increase the load on the GPU or on the CPU, so you can tweak this around and get a decent frame rate. And another thing that I noticed, which was quite impressive in my opinion, is when you are getting 30 FPS or you're getting 60 FPS, you don't feel any lag, any jumps. Like when PUBG came out, there was a lot of stuttering between scenes and between different areas. So for example, when you were jumping down from the parachute, you were getting very low FPS, then you land, you get slightly better. Here, even though there was a difference in frame rates in certain places, it was fairly smooth. So one moment you could be at 60 FPS, other moment you are at 100, 120 FPS. It felt very smooth and very playable throughout. Also, I noticed, I believe the game is capped at 144 FPS. So in my opinion, if you have an older graphics card, anything that is 2 to 3 years old, mid-range 1060, 580, you should probably hit close to 144 FPS if you lower settings. And anything with maybe a 1070 or above, I think you should get 144 FPS even with things almost at max settings. So yeah, I'm quite impressed. The game just launched barely 2 days ago and it runs flawlessly. Of course, we don't know what the networking performance is, but overall, apart from one game where I felt a bit of rubber banding, the game ran very smoothly, and yeah, I had a lot of fun. I played around a bit. I'm not really that good, but even so, it felt more comfortable and more enjoyable to me than something like PUBG or any of the other games. And at this point, I think it's slightly better than Blackout. And overall, I'm enjoying this. I unlocked this character, the Trickster Mirage, and I was playing around with this guy. By the way, this guy sounds exactly like Kyle Crane from Dying Light, so I think it's the same voice actor. But overall, yeah, I think this game is very well optimized. If you have any card that came out in the last 4 or 5 years, you should be able to get decent playable frame rates, even on low settings. And even graphically, I tried with the anti-aliasing off and on. Of course, with the anti-aliasing turned on, it did look better. The picture was more smooth and stable. But even without it, it did not look too bad. So yes, this is definitely a game where if you have a fairly decent budget card and a 144Hz monitor, you should be able to get those 144 FPS. And overall, very enjoyable, in and out. I was dying all the time, but it was still a lot of fun. And if you can get your friends together and play this, I think this is a great game. Hopefully this does well. The only concern for me is this is not a new game, as in not a new concept, new idea. It's using the best ideas from other games and trying to implement that. It is very popular on Twitch right now, everybody's streaming it, so hope it does well. And yeah, I like it. I like it quite a lot. It runs very nicely. It's well optimized. It's not a very demanding game. So yeah, definitely check it out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.